Warning: the following contains content intended for older audiences and may contain strong language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back again to Taboo Talks, where no conversation is off limits. I'm Drea, and I'm your host, as usual. Today's topic is one of my favorites because it's hot AF. We're going to be discussing everything about sex. And I'm not spilling all my own beans. I have 4 guests tonight who will spill their own. So we eat with the tortilla and the cheese there because we got sauce beans to serve out. I'm going to ask everyone to introduce themselves, and we'll start with this gentleman right here. Go ahead.
You put me on the spot, Joe.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Paul, and I'm still trying to figure out how this motley crew is here. But I guess I'm the rainbow, the rainbow to the bunch here.
Yes, he's our rainbow.
All right.
Hi everyone, my name is Vianney and I'm the wisdom keeper here.
Oh, she's the wisdom keeper. Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Chriselle and I'm figuring out my role. I'll tell you later.
Hi, my name is Jordan, and I think I'm the calm to the storm here.
Are you? I don't know. I
Yes.
think he's the storm. Well, I just met him, so I'm not sure. We'll find out. So, are you guys ready for the topic of today?
Hey, Balang, sure, man.
Sex. Yeah? Are you guys ready to get candid? To get
Let's do it.
to get open?
I don't know how open, but
All right, so my first question is obviously, what is your comfort level? Are you open about discussing sexual topics in general, or do you feel like you have to be in a certain environment for that type of talk to not be taboo? Do you see what I did there?
okay.
What do you think, Paul?
For my comfort level, I'm pretty open. I'm an open book. But I think it depends on who it is. So, I mean, if it's, new people, strangely enough, I had a conversation with a lady the other day, and we were very open, and she's like 20-something years my senior.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, this is candid and very open. I'm comfortable there. I draw the line with my parents.
I see.
I don't know, that is too much. I
I
don't want to
see.
hear how I was made. So that's
Okay.
enough right there.
So what, you didn't have the talk with your parents?
No,
ever?
I never need that. No, internet made a day. The entire we had dialogue, that was enough for me. I learned that on my own.
Okay,
I don't
yeah,
need
okay.
to,
He had dialogue. So
Okay, that's giving my age.
You're gonna sell your age.
I'm selling my
You
age.
know? What about you, V? Are you...
I think I'm pretty open about this topic. I talk about it on my social media all the time. When it comes to maybe some of my personal details, that's probably between me and my closest friends. But
Okay.
we'll see how comfortable I get.
All right. How about you, Jordan?
I'm open as well. It's not really an issue for me. If whatever up on the table, it's fair play, You talk about whatever today. But I'm one of those people where if I could be open, I would like that everyone around me be open as well,
Oh, no here?
Okay.
Oh, no here?
Yeah.
Are you open?
For me, yes, pretty much. It does depend on who I'm speaking to because I don't like my words to be twisted and taken. I have to be able to trust you with certain
Right.
details. So talking about sex as a broad topic, that's never an issue. Unless it's to people that are younger, then I don't even bother. But, talking about different experiences or personal experiences, not too deep.
I kind of heard that
Not
you throw
to-
everything my way when you say younger people. Something like that.
I think
Selling your age
the only thing I'm like trying to be careful about is naming names because I'm very open about what I like and what I don't like and how often I like it and how often I don't. I will tell you, I'll let you know. You know what I mean? And but I get you because I feel like in certain settings I find that I have to censor myself a lot.
Yeah.
Because not everybody is open about their sensuality, no? Like I feel like like a society that very much is seeped in everything sexual, just finds it very uncomfortable. But I think it's because we make it uncomfortable. I don't think it's something that should be uncomfortable. I don't know. I want to think.
No, well, I promote sensuality, so when I speak to the ladies in my group, I need to be as blunt as possible, and we share, and then that stays there, you know. So having a safe space to talk about these things is very important, and not just, you know, because not everybody want to open up and talk to you just like that, you know. But if you have one safe space, people are able to voice things where they probably never tell somebody before, and then, you know, you reciprocate the information, and you go good from there.
All right. Before you became sexually active, I know you say you had dial-up, so you know your parents never did have a talk
I
with
never
you.
wanted to get in my business.
No?
I think it was a little bit different because
Yeah, because of
I'm gay.
your orientation.
yeah, and I don't have anybody that I couldn't have gone to my pa and they're like, oh, I have gay sex or my ma. So that I had to do that part alone. So there was a lot of self-discovery that happens by yourself.
Right.
So and I think that happens to a lot of anybody that's on the rainbow or the kids' scale or however you want to call it. But it's a lonely journey sometimes. It is kind of lonely. But when you get there and you have fun.
Get there,
And you have fun.
How about you guys? Did you guys like get to talk? Like, did your parents like say, okay, this is the birds and the bees?
Well, with me and I had a very close relationship with my mom. I would dare to say that I was a bit of a mama's boy growing up. And it was never an issue with us. We were always transparent with one another. When I started, you know, having sex, she knew about it. Like, she knew that I would go to the store, and while we'd buy like the groceries and whatnot, I would buy a pack of condoms side of my mom.
She pay for it or you pay for
She
it?
not have no, she not pay for it, no.
Oh.
No.
I just I say, remember your condom for you, that's kind of like,
Nah. But yeah, no, she would see and she wouldn't really. She would talk to me about it because I grew up in a Christian home. So my mom was all about, you know, sex before marriage and I mean sex after marriage, sorry.
sex before marriage.
It's good.
That's
Sex before
Christianity,
marriage,
yeah.
let's
But
promote
she
that.
was, she was all about that and because I grew up in a Christian home, she tell me that I should know better, but she not really she won't cast any judgment or there's no real punishment there for me. Like she understands humanity, you know. She wasn't Christian all her life, so
Okay, so Christian
it's
equals you don't have
relatable.
sex.
Do you have sisters?
2 half sisters that I met maybe once.
Okay, well then that question doesn't apply to you because I was going to say, I find it so unfair that all the time you have that the guys or the sons in the family, they're so open about all of that, and then you have a daughter, and then you can't do this, you can't do that, and it's across the board.
The truth about that, what I find kind of insulting is there's this thing where if girls have sex with a lot of guys, it makes them a whore and things like that, you know. But with guys, then we're in a society where guys like they have to be macho. They have their idea being a man that sleep with with a lot of different women or being very sexually out there. I never agreed with that. Like I don't think that make any sense. If girls could do it, if guys could do it, girls could too.
That's
you know,
right.
and there should be no judgment in between. Like I shouldn't have a problem with how much people you sleep with. And you shouldn't have a problem with that with me as well. You know?
Do you think that also applies to like the age to lose your virginity? Because for example, for guys, it's like once your balls drop, you know, like your need for so yeah, exactly.
For me, and again, I sorry for whoever never know that side of me, but for me,
You know, I know though.
I had you know even if you don't know me. But yeah, I lost my virginity at a relatively young age, and
Which age?
You wanna know my whole? I was.
I always fascinated by it. That's why.
God damn, sorry, Mom, 'cause she never know that. But
Sorry, Mom.
I lost my virginity at 13 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and it had never been something that I would have like I said, I grew up with my mom, and my mom taught me all of these things, and it never really, how to say, like it never dawned on me that, you know, losing my virginity at a young age would make you popular. I think that's a stupid mentality. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like, I used to insult people at my high school and they're like, yeah, dog, you lose your virginity when you're 15? Boy, that bad dog. How much girl you sleep with? That's dumb. Like, why? You need know if you use it good.
You got milky in your teeth, lad.
But I mean, being so young and losing your virginity, what, you would last, what, 1 minute? And then say like, wow, okay, I did it, and then have somebody else. Like, what kind of goal or what kind of, you know, is that, like, to brag about? Just because you touch somebody, that's just basically it, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been there with the female and that's it.
Right.
That's all you have to, you know, because if it was good, if it wasn't good, then who knows? They don't care.
I feel like it's a part of self-discovery. And I also have a problem with the meaning of, like, you know, like losing your virginity being penetration, because I feel like I don't understand why it's so uncomfortable to know. It's a fact. Children can be sexually stimulated. They are sexually stimulated and they masturbate all the time. Babies masturbate all the time. You know what I mean?
I know.
So technically, where nobody is a virgin, like, I feel like if you've had a sexual sensation or stimulation, I feel like you're no longer a virgin. But that's my definition of virginity. You know, some people out here are trying to do anal to keep their hymen intact. So I don't, I don't understand the logic. But
not everybody has a hymen.
Also.
And so, to me, virginity is any sort of penetration in your private area, you know, so vaginal or even anal, because to me it's still
I think it's a state
virginity.
of mind. I kind of want to lean towards what Joy is saying. It's kind of like a state of mind, because there are so many things that people can do outside from having a penis in a vagina or a penis in an... But I think it's because you can do so many things to explore sexuality.
Yeah.
I mean, we did forget oral sex.
Yes, one of my
Well,
best
you know,
sexual experiences.
you know,
I had no
and
penetration whatsoever.
Because you can have a young lady.
That was one of my best sexual experiences. Like,
The
no
oral.
penetration. And like, I am as straight as they come, really and truly. And I know because I know. I know. And I explain to no, I know, but I know it's straight.
Okay.
But it was a psychological orgasm, I want to say, because, you know, it was very much an exploration of what my sexuality was, as opposed to an act that lasts 15 to 20 minutes. You know, so I think a lot of us think of sex as like a carnal thing, but I think sex is also an energetical thing.
It has to be
Right up my
Because
alley.
you have girls that they're breaking their hymens maybe on a bloody bike or a horse, just by accident.
Watch out, one time I dropped hard.
You know, and that could happen. And but I mean, if a doctor checks there, they will say medically you lost your virginity, but have you? Because you haven't experienced what it is to be intimate with yourself or with somebody else. So that's why, for me, the physical thing...
I don't think that if you go to a doctor just because your hymen is broke, they're going to say you lost your virginity. There's going to be some sort of evidence of a foreign object being in there. And that's why I'm saying that losing your virginity is actually like... you know, penetration by something else. And yes, you can play with toys before you have someone. So did you break your own virginity, or that's when it plays with your mind.
What do you guys think? That's a good question. Do you think if like a girl has never been penetrated by a man, right? Never, ever, ever, but she's inserted toys before, is she still a virgin?
I'm thinking lesbians who don't use toys, period.
And that's where I was just gonna get at, because fingers penetrate.
Even if they don't use fingers, you don't have to use fingers.
Or whatever you use. I don't know.
Gotta call me the top bowl.
This is why I'm kind of advocating for
This is the show that we're on. I just want you guys to know.
I'm advocating for the women that have sex with women that don't use any foreign objects, fingers. They might just use cunnilinguistic, you know, the cunnilingus,
right.
and they have lost their virginity. And I will never, ever argue that with them, because like I think that's where we agree. It's so psychological.
I'd like to agree with that as well. Like when it comes to like the intimacy, you don't really have to be physical to be intimate with a person. You know, you could talk about it. I have friends that I'm not calling no name, but I have had friends
can't call
that
no
they tell me
name,
not to
Ocha.
call no name. Not to call no name. I've had friends that told me things like they would speak with their partner, and their partner would have like an orgasm just by the conversation, you know, because of how sensual it
I
gets.
wonder if anybody's gonna have an orgasm while listening to our conversation.
It's just, ooh, so intellectual, you know. But there are people that are stimulated that way apart from physical intimacy.
Good point.
Yeah.
I have another question.
Yes. Awesome.
Body count. Hi. How much does it matter? Because I feel like you said it earlier, when it comes to men, it's okay for them to have multiple partners and not be deemed, like we say, something derogatory. But if that were a woman, then she was kettle, she's a slut, she's a whore, any name
Slut
under the sun.
shamed.
She quote unquote has less value the more partners she has, right?
Throw a sausage down a hallway, things like that.
Yeah, so, well, visual.
Dang.
But yes, but that's exactly my point. For men,
Again,
it's like the more
again, not
conquest.
speaking on my behalf, speaking like generally.
Yeah, no,
You
I
sound like you're
understand.
an ambassador for these assholes.
Oh,
He is
man,
an
yeah.
asshole, you know?
Yeah, like, I don't talk-
Jordan is the straight man ambassador right now.
Yeah,
That's what
but
he's doing.
he's being an ambassador for the ones that speak this way or think this way, unfortunately.
No, no.
I'm just kidding.
No, with me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, man.
See?
I apologize.
He's not an asshole.
Yeah, he's not.
He
He's
lets
not.
me talk.
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm just kidding,
I'm
Jordan.
just kidding, darling. Just don't worry.
Train of thought going right here, you know, for me.
Short attention.
Done, God. No, don't say that. Short-term memory. Let's just say that.
Short-term memory.
Yeah.
But okay, but low key, that's what it is. Even we take it on. Like, even though I could talk for myself. Like, I really don't think that body count is a big deal. I've been there, done that. Sorry. And I don't think, yeah, and I don't think I'm any less worthy because I don't only have one man, you know, in my pum pum. So Vanessa Bling would have said.
Let me tell you something.
But I do feel that there are certain behaviors that I personally would deem something that I wouldn't do. Does that make any sense? I still reserve myself in a certain way because there is still a general opinion that I have to be mindful of, right? So what I want to think, like for me, I'm like, whatever floats your boat, like if you have 10 man in your DM there and you say all 10 of them, well, okay, that's up to you, be safe, you know, whatever. All 10 of them, wow, okay, but do your thing. But I also feel like I should also caution the person that's having sex with 10 people at the same time. You know what I mean?
But
Well, I
at the
think-
end of the day, they want to still justify what they do.
Yeah.
And to me, being the younger me, used to have an issue. Like, I've been in a relationship, and like, how many girls did he have? And then he's going to be like, how many guys did I have? And when that relationship fell through, and I started a new one, I was like, you know what, I'll just be upfront from the start. The amount of problems that started in this new relationship based on old shit that didn't even concern you. It was so surprising to me, and I said, you know what? Whatever happened in my past does not matter. What we need to look at is just you and I and move forward. Because if I start giving you all my skeletons, and I know about your
You use it
skeletons,
against me, or
it plays
plays with
with
your
your
mind.
head.
Okay.
And that's not, you know, men have this idea that the reason they have a problem with a woman having multiple partners is because they have this theory that, oh, the woman stretch out now because she have different size, and then that it
To me, that is
exactly.
shallow mentality.
I
Like, if you have that type of mentality, you obviously not get anywhere in my vicinity, like whatsoever.
I want
Point
to play
blank.
devil's advocate here. Reason
Sure, do
being,
that. Do
the
that.
mentality behind it is, when I got into school, I was into psychology, right? So the thought behind this is that when it comes to girls having multiple sexual partners, most guys some of them, I'll be honest with you, the real shallow ones, they'll be like, oh, she stretch out. Like that, that very shallow. But I think one of the things what plague upon a lot of guys' minds, or a lot of significant others' minds, especially when you let your skeletons out the closet, I know that through first-hand experience. So there's always that comparison,
Right.
you know, in every relationship between the guy and the girl. The girl will be like, okay, well, was she better than me, or you know, that will play the back of your mind. You know, even matter like well, younger
That's
women.
what
No, I know
causes
I say people that experience these things. You know, people that have gone through these experiences. But like maybe first time relationships or, I say third or fourth time relationships. You know.
Or
They-
first real relationship.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
serious
Not like,
relationship.
oh, we didn't mess around. No, like something serious. But the thing is, it's that though. It's they think, like I would. With me, body count doesn't matter because I know better. But the thing is that there are some guys over there out there where very, very
Insecure.
Insecure. Yes.
Insecure is the word.
Perfect word.
Thank you
Actually.
very
They're
much.
They're insecure.
That's what it is.
Insecure.
It's
Because I wanted to be-
insecurity.
Yeah, I wanted to be a devil's advocate here just now. I asked, well, how do you feel if? But you answered the question already,
Yeah,
saying that
because-
it doesn't matter for you.
Yeah, but people would it plagues the back of my mind as well.
Okay,
it
so
does
a bit.
because the truth is, you know, I could never know. I've never experienced.
Am I performing? Is my
yeah,
member
am I
okay?
better than this one or that
Who
one?
was the best?
You know,
Yeah, who was the best?
Who was
yeah,
the
because
best? Who was
as
the
much
best
as
you ever
people
had?
want to say, people have a tendency to keep that black booking on their mind.
I think that
Sometimes you
Yeah.
have to lie.
Huh?
I write it down.
you have to lie.
That's it.
Sometimes
You
I
gotta-
have
you
to
gotta-
lie.
I have to log it, not because there's so many, but because like I kind of like to journal my life. So
Fair enough.
I like to like, okay, this one. I actually have fuck I'm going. I
Spill the
make-
beans, Drea.
I make like an electronic like scrapbook. per
Oh
se.
my God.
This is
No.
a trend on TikTok, you know.
Is it?
There was a
I
trend on
have-
TikTok
I like
about
I
this.
literally do that. Like I have pictures that I've taken of all the guys that I've slept with,
so
and like I organize.
Oh my God. Oh wait. Oh no.
That's so cool.
I didn't Europe me thing there as a sign.
I like how all of you have different reactions. Like I don't like. Oh my
That's
God.
so
You
cool.
do
That's
that?
my Google Drive.
Yeah, and I do
call
with
it
my
I call it the
friends.
gay Pokédex.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my
The
friends would be
gay-
like, the gay
Yeah.
Pokédex.
Pokédex.
Yeah, because my friends would be like,
Yeah, Pokemon.
I
Like, do
love
you
it
know-
so much. I don't even.
I actually kind of also wanna hurry and ask you a question because I think it's different. This like heterosexual relationships and heterosexual body counts are different for I think gay because I think
we count everything.
exactly on count everything. And then on top of everything, low key on have like a reputation of like being more promiscuous than
Christ.
heterosexual people.
But
What do
you know,
think
my
about
body
that?
count is actually low, I think.
You think so?
I think so. Me and my partner were just doing it the other day because we
On the body count?
we were counting.
So I put you on the spot. What are your body count?
It's like less than 20.
Over the acquired years.
I mean, I
Over
wouldn't
the
think the last year, you know.
Yeah, over the acquired years.
No,
and that's
you
because
You could still use all of
I-
like to one hand.
I use my, yeah. But
Yeah,
that's
same.
because I started, that's why when you said that you started when you were 13, I was like, wow, because I started when I was 18. Like, I remember when I jumped off the boat and I saw the guy, I was like, I had to sleep with the belly, right? So,
I don't know how it works.
I don't know, but I just do it. But because I was already
Anyway,
decided I wanted to do
Listen,
it.
listen. Before I get into like who you're going to sleep with
Oh,
the first
God.
time, let's appreciate how candid our conversation is so far. But we need to take a quick, short commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about who Paul jumped on after he get out of off of the boat. We'll do that.
Warning: the following contains content intended for older audiences and may contain strong language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Taboo Talks. I'm your host, Karen, and tonight we're discussing all things sex. So before the commercial break, we were talking about body count, but now I want to get into sex and pressure because a lot of the reason we have body count, and I can say this from personal experience, is that sometimes you feel that it's the next step, or you feel pressure to like, all right, I already went on a date with this person, or this person like did this for me, let me see what's going on. Or, you know, you are kind of already into it, but then you realize you're not really that into it, but because you're already there and you feel like you've passed the threshold, you feel pressured to full on do it. What do you guys think about that, and have you had that experience?
I feel like I've definitely had that experience at an early age too, like early teens, you know, everyone in your class, everyone's talking about, oh, I had sex, I did this, I did that, and you're just here like, oh, what we talk about.
Yeah.
You know, so you do have that peer pressure from like your colleagues, and I feel like also even if you're already in an established connection, that there is pressure. You know, they already expect, well, to some degree, that all right, you're already interested, you seem like you're wanting to take it to the next step. So obviously the next thing is like, okay, I might as well just do it, which I don't think now is the right mentality to have about that.
If I start to feel pressure, I move.
You move.
I move away from it instantly, and I can say that now, like as a mature person, being younger and being in certain situations, you're like, you know what? Let's just try this out, and you know. But if halfway through it I wasn't feeling it, I just like, and I laughed the rest of the night.
Is it the same for you guys?
I don't know. I don't know how it is for others that are other gay guys but for me, like I remember when I was younger, I did feel pressure to feel like I needed to have like a boyfriend, and I had one, and I was like just to have it by name.
Yeah.
You know, and then I think he wanted to kind of get serious, and you know certain things started to happen. You know, like you can see expressions down there.
Yeah.
And you know that I'm like, but let me not depend on this right now. I mean, yes, I want to, but then I know the feel the vibe right now. So I would be like, I send by text and like, this is not a workout. We make a break up. Yeah, move on. I in a whole like puppy love relationship because I really don't want to have sex with that person. And especially for us, like, I think you want it to be special, especially when you have like crushes and all that. Because there were guys that I did like have connections with that were straight, air quotes straight, but they did certain things that seemed very gay, and then you wanted to be with that person.
That was a whole topic.
That's a whole topic,
like
though.
that whole topic, because I feel like, and we're going a little bit off tangent here, but like I feel like in Belize we have such a like I am like a closeted gay community, like wife, pitney, sweetheart, and they're still gay, and then gay, and they're not bi really. They're actually they're homosexual. So like, and it just trips me out.
I have something to say about that because it was interesting. I was listening to a podcast the other day from a heterosexual man talking to this sex coach who is gay, and he said that he has a lot of straight men who come into his office to talk to him about their fantasy about wanting to have anal sex, but they don't want to be in a homosexual relationship. They're okay and happy being at home with their wife and their kids. They just enjoy having anal sex, and that's it.
Well, I mean, it makes sense.
And I think that the more we can understand that as a society, we can understand that there is sexual fluidity in both men and both women. That you don't have to categorize someone as gay because they like anal, or that she is lesbian because she prefers to be intimate with another woman. I think the whole closed-minded concept in our society is really what's making everyone do this shush kind of thing and hide it under the rug, and then people eventually find out, and then there's all this like judgment.
Just a few years ago, they did I think it's the amendment, or they repealed Section 53 of the laws of Belize, because keep in mind that prior to that change, not only anal sex but oral sex was considered illegal.
Dude, you are so woke.
Yeah, and the thing is that you never know that if they catch you do that, you could get a charge for that. You know, male to male, female to male, anything like that.
Right.
And this is a change in a very young country. You know, we relatively young, so we have a lot of people who still not know, or they're not open
They're not open.
about this. And
Like for our country, and I think that really because our in church state type of demographic. I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
it's
This
that.
fitting.
Our-
I feel that church makes sex taboo in
But
general.
our,
That's the thing.
Our constitution call for all what is it? Happiness to all Belizeans under the eyes of God or something to that effect.
Well, let's not
Which
bring
is-
God into it.
Yeah,
Because
Yes.
I want to talk about other freaky things.
That's fine. But that the reason why things are like that, you know?
You know,
it pretty messed up.
low key, I do feel like sometimes there is this cloud of shame when it comes to your sexual and sensual natures. And I feel like that's why we're not open to being so fluid, trying new things. And for something that I feel like I had to evolve into was, for example, the inclusion of toys in my, in my situation.
Some straight men still don't accept
Oh,
toys.
all right, and that's a big taboo
That's-
thing. Like,
What's the challenge?
okay, so you prefer me to go sleep with a guy over pleasuring myself? What do you guys think about the use of toys and other extracurricular activities?
The more the merrier, man. Why we have to make sex so boring?
All's fair in love and war.
That's the problem. The amount of repressed men, especially that we have, and it goes like it ties into like even men trying to or wanting to do anal, for example, or playing. You still on videos somebody go about the other day. You know, where you got some men that try to do some stuff and they pleasure themselves, anally.
Yeah.
I think that you're right, they're not gay, but they do know that that gives them pleasure.
Right.
Then you know what? Talk to your lady about it.
Yeah, the process is there, babes.
Talk to your woman. You know what, baby? You know what? I want you like kind of like
Kiss me where
kiss
I
me
like
back
it.
there. You know.
Make me feel good.
Let me,
first, you know.
yeah, go bait up and thing, and then you make me go do that. But if men would just get out of their heads and realize, and then they could explore and because women are more advanced in that, I think.
You think so?
I think
I
women
have
are.
friends that don't even masturbate, bro.
Oh man, Lord.
I mean,
That's like-
That song's so boring. I feel so sorry for
It's
them.
like I constantly feel like it's me. Like
Well, I'm
I
probably
could never.
I'm probably the friend like you are with your friends. Like I'm the one
Yeah.
that talks to my friends like you should do this, you should do that,
Yeah.
and the benefits of this and that. But like I wanted to go back to what you said about men exploring anal sex even in heterosexual partnership, because I think there is just the ignorance about sexuality.
Right.
Male orgasms that makes our society that closed off, because if more men would understand that for you to have multiple orgasms you have to be able to reach your prostate, you wouldn't look at a gay guy and just immediately judge that person, because not because you enjoy that doesn't mean that you're gay. I think if people it's exactly because you have to reach it through the anus. It's just their anatomy.
There's a thing called milking,
And
right? That
we know.
so doctors might perform a prostate exam.
Yeah, and then they.
And then some guys they naturally ejaculate,
yeah.
and that's normal, and they get freaked out by it. And I'm like, I don't want to do no prostate. And afterwards, what that does?
Yes, and then-
what that do? That
yeah.
cuts you off from knowing what's happening to you with your prostate. Because you're so
Yeah, so
afraid.
think about this, right? If they could just be a little bit more open-minded, and that's why I like talk about this. If you could just be a little bit more open-minded, Jordan.
What I do? I just.
So you better not call me on air for this subject. Watch ya.
I just sit down.
I'm just saying,
Listen, right? I am the straight male here, so I.
this
will
is
walk.
exactly why I'm referring to your
That's
people.
fair. My kind.
Yeah, your kind.
Oh my God.
Would you explore anal sex?
I mean, yes.
Like with your
Yeah.
Why not?
It's
Yeah, why not?
I stand by there. All's fair in love and war. You know what? The context behind that very different, but to me it means that, when it comes to love, the idea is satisfying your partner as well as yourself.
Exactly.
That were
So-
two-way street.
So
Yes.
imagine if you explore that on your own and your partner helps you along the way, you can increase your pleasure sensations, you can have multiple orgasms.
And the
And
connection
then-
with the other person.
And then, so you build more intimacy with your partner. So in that sense, I don't see why it could just not benefit
I
them.
literally have a friend that her man wanted to explore it, so she got a strap on.
Oh, very
And they, she was like, girl, anything my man wants, I'm gonna try, that's how I gotta keep my man, and and whatever. And I'm like, well,
No, they come to our side for that.
The funny thing about that is that the mentality was, I'll be honest with you, I kind of have that mentality where, not for me, but anything what I can't do for you, somebody else will. So my idea behind that, if you want the something what I'm not comfortable with, let's explore it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
you might like it.
If you want, I mean, let's go. Even if I don't know really 100% with it, I'm still down.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Because the segue right now is sex for favors, right? So what about you doing something that you really aren't comfortable with? Because I can say for myself, like I don't have anal sex because I don't like it. Been there, tried it once, freaked out, it hurt, never doing it again. But I feel like if there were an incentive, I might try again. You know what I mean? I might say, okay, let me try. Let's like what? How big is the incentive?
What we do?
Got what I say? But are you guys cool with that? Because that is also a thing in our society. Like, okay, some men pay for vacations or then pay for your light bill or water bill, but you must come over and eat their groceries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, how do you guys feel about that? Is it an accepted thing for you? I know it depends on who it is for me, but I don't know.
I call it like if there were a guy to do it for a girl. I mean, what the recent term is simping. You do
Simping.
something with the mentality of getting something back in return. That's how I see it. Was simp to somebody, and I say
That's what that
people always say was simp like a gentleman. That's stupid.
But two gentlemen.
What gentleman?
I thought
it's
that
a
was like
TikTok term.
Yeah.
like you being
Like you did over
too
the girl.
soft over like
Yeah.
somebody. That's what I thought
No,
simping was.
for me, the idea, I look it up, right? The idea of simping had come from,
He's like, I looked that shit up.
yeah, the idea of simping come from guys, people, close, yes, you know what? No,
Be
let's
simple.
the simping means that I am being nice to you. Like, for example, let's go say, I want to some, I want to rob you or something. I will give you whatever I could for raise my chances of doing that.
Right?
But in the event that I don't do it, I'll vex you. I'll be angry
That sounds like
because
every
I give
relationship
you
I've
something.
ever had.
You know?
Like it literally sounds like every relationship I've ever had.
If you can't do it for me, I won't be vexed with you. And
That's not like chauvinism.
that was bumbling. I can't say the word. Sorry, with a pun, you can't cuss, right?
Yeah, no, you could
How's
cost
that
you some
weird?
bleep you out.
Bumbling. Oh, darn, never mind. I catch you the last second, but it's stupid because guys always that most of the guys. I'll be honest with you.
You think so? They got enough man will get maintained by lady, will tell you now.
That's true. That is
I mean,
true.
you know say, well, hold on, let's not get into
What do you
sugar
wanna-
mamas.
Yeah, there's
the
sugar
white lady
mamas
with the
out here.
Belizean boy.
Yes, I think there's
You know?
legitimately sometimes, and this has happened to me, right? I feel like I talk too much about myself this episode,
Got it.
but this has happened to me. If you are considered like, let's say, an older woman of a certain like social class, the young boy and they come, and they want to like.
They want you money.
Yeah, like, oh, you could carry me for your next vacation. Next what? What? You know what I mean? And it's like, no, babes.
You have people in your inbox like that? Like people do that?
Not in my inbox. They're more suave with it. You know what I mean? It's more of like, like, let me get to know you. And then like, oh, you could carry me on your next trip. Then it becomes like, my birthday to come or what you want for Christmas? This is what I want. And it's like...
They have a lot of that. Then the pretty boy vibes where feel that they could do that. That's
or,
what
no,
it is.
you know which one is the one? I really want to start a business. You could lend me money.
Oh wow. Another one. I should
Like,
try that.
I need this amount for start this thing. Listen, like I have heard everything under like the sun. There is such a thing as guys wanting favors for their D, because let's not lie. Out here, there are more men to women. Period. The men, you all have the power right now. We have needs. we need you guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we share we know, right? When you
So
learn you have a power, when you learn you have that power, what do? You exploit it.
That's true. Because even in the gay community, it's the same thing.
But wait, I don't feel like the men have the power.
You don't feel like that?
No.
Okay,
You
alright,
have
make a
the
hair.
power, ma'am.
Well, not true,
You
but I
have
think
the
that there's
power.
some- It depends.
saw a
It
video
depends.
about this
You
today.
have the power. Females
they-
have the power. Men
the
don't have the
women-
power.
I
There are
agree.
multiple men, yes. But at the end of the day, you pick and choose who gets to come into your window. You have the power.
That's right. Yeah.
Not them. They could come with whatever they want. Come, give me that, give me that, give me that. They want this in return.
It's just how much they can sustain that power. Like,
Ex-
this is how much I
yeah, like-
need. Like, I want a vacation.
like-
I feel very sorry for guys like that. I'll be honest, people like that.
Oh,
in
you think
general.
so?
I feel very sorry
I
for
don't
them
feel
because
sorry for this, so.
I feel like, huh? Oh, then
I feel like then they win.
yeah, no, well, that's the problem. Why I feel sorry for them. I don't feel sorry for them in that way. But the thing is that it's so unfortunate that there are people that. The thing is that every behavior stems from somewhere,
Right.
And my idea, everybody has a reason why they do the things they do,
So okay, when it comes to like richer older men, right?
Sugar daddies.
Yeah, sugar daddies. So now we're going from sugar mamas to sugar daddies. So when it comes to they buy sex from young girls all the time, and it's easy because these young ladies sometimes don't see beyond their wants, their like present wants. They don't see their future sometimes. And some of them smart enough to see their future, but do you think it's them taking advantage? Because you just now said that I have the power. Do you think those older men are taking advantage of these young girls, or are the young girls taking advantage of these old men?
Look, man, not two adults. That is what
Sometimes
I feel.
an adult.
Not as something else, and not a
Yeah.
criminal, not a criminal thing.
Well,
but if
that's
you're
a thing.
two
Like
adults,
that's a thing though. Like here in Belize, like we have statutory rape, right? That's what
No,
I
we're not
said.
gonna. We got carnal knowledge.
We have carnal knowledge.
Yeah.
Under 16.
So we
though.
have carnal knowledge, but it's that who I report you.
that's true. But I'm saying if you're
Bad man.
if you're 18,
You broke. my
or if
heart
you're
out,
18,
boy.
19,
think
and
so?
you're a girl, and you go into a man with like 80 add, we got leave money. I cannot say 80 because that sounds so gross for some people. But I know it does exist, in some circles.
My power choice.
But most
I just
of the
may say-
time,
Okay, but
But let
I
me
don't want to
tell
bring my daddy into this, so my daddy me a hardcore like womanizer, like his whole life. I
My-
love you, daddy. Rest in peace.
Rest in
I love
peace.
My
you.
pa, my pa, very gentlemanly about it.
But I think as long as you're
He was
adult
very
about-
gentlemanly
as
about
long
it.
as you're an adult about it, I mean, come on and do your
Was.
thing. If the guy if he knows that that's what he wants, he wanted that, then do it. And if she knows, or in my case, if it's an older man,
But
I
they're
will
not
draw the
force
line though,
you.
because
I
if you
mean-
look old, then I might not do anything with you. Like you
there's
have to
some
kind of look like
zaddies
them.
So you
out
have to
there,
look good?
though.
Yeah, you have to have like that nice, gray that's like salt and black pepper kind
Yeah,
of thing.
silver
Yeah.
fox.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I want-
then maybe
My-
they really have money, like money.
Yeah.
My thing with this, and I think I can relate to you when it comes to this, is that a lot of these distortions in our society when it comes to things like that is because the underlying issue as to why these things happen are not being addressed. So, for example, if you have, whether it's a younger guy or a younger girl doing these things, maybe it's just because they're trying to compensate for something that they lacked in early childhood. For example, attention, a connection, something deeper than the surface level things that they're trying to.
But maybe they just put money.
I
You'd
honestly
be
think they
surprised.
don't want to work hard, They have some pretty boy, pretty girls with them. I don't even have to
Well,
give this man nothing. He
that-
that wait at States, and every time I ask him to pay my bill, all I have to do is send him a picture, and he send me my money. And that it. They just wanna be able to have money,
Girls just
do
wanna have
what
fun,
they
man.
go on
I'll be
trips.
honest with you. I found out from some of these girls that are sugar babies, when they call themselves, that they said that they're a very small minority out there, right? But the thing is that some of them say that when it comes to having these sugar daddies, a lot of the time it's not about sex. A lot of times they're more about companionships, like escorts. Escorts not really. They're not prostitutes, basically. Escorts aren't
sex worker.
Yeah,
They're not sex
And not sex workers.
Yeah, they're not sex workers. That's
You know what? You need to keep all of us PC. How
Yeah,
about that? You're the PC person.
Politically correct, yes.
But you know what? Like I always get a little salty with this topic Because I always feel like, how come I don't know a sugar baby?
I know, I want to be one
Like
sugar
it hurts
baby.
me so much. Like
How do you put yourself out there? They go look.
have you seen my
There
Instagram?
are sites. No,
She
but
always-
that's your Instagram, yes.
You
But
probably
then
get
there
people
are
in your
sites
DMs
that you go
ready for
on.
pay for
TikTok to
everything
teach a lot of
But
people
you know,
off of
it's
the
because
things,
you do have a very strong woman presence, and I say it in a good way. Like it's a good aura.
So you have to be like, for like.
Some of
try
them
to get-
guys must be kind of
Yeah,
want
they
this silly
probably
girl. So you're
intimidated by
very
the-
independent. You give off that independent vibe, and they must be like, well, she don't need nothing.
boss
She already
babe
your
or
boss
too
woman.
expensive. That's all I could think about.
I'll be
Like,
honest
and I'll be happy with one barrel for a state. So I can do that.
from the outside looking in, to be honest with you, if I could say, they have two contrasts why they say right now, right? Whether you and then we have Vianney, right? You give off that independent vibe and everything, but people will see you at face value. I don't know you're from social media. Apparently you like post up thing, right? Is that it? No?
I can help you, buddy. Just slow down.
The thing is that because she kind of
Right.
reserved in the way how
Okay,
you speak.
she's
You speak very quiet. I'll be
I
honest with
do,
you.
but they know this is naturally me.
Listen,
Yeah.
Like,
But the thing is that people would have more go towards you in the sense of sugar baby, because they say, oh,
have-
you're not a quiet
have a sugar
type, so
baby
then I
vibe.
want
I
you
have
know.
zero.
listen, my
messages
girl
about
put up
that.
belly dancing videos.
Yeah, I do belly
Okay.
dance. I do.
And I think that
Sorry.
I'm pretty sure that
I don't know
because of
social
that,
media,
because of that womanhood,
I feel like that's intimidating to a certain
yes,
degree too.
that's what it is.
It probably
Yeah.
is, yeah. But I surprised though, because I feel like everybody got messages in the inbox. Well, every girl.
Yeah.
Female.
How about you? No? Let's not go there? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's hit the pause button one more time. So when we come back, we're gonna have a final talk. We're gonna actually speak to somebody from outside coming in that knows a lot about the topic. So stay tuned. We'll see you when we come back.
Warning: the following contains content intended for older audiences and may contain strong language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Taboo Talks. I'm Jarena. So far, our 4 guests have opened up and have been very candid about their bedroom lives, especially me. But now we have a virtual guest joining us, Miss Ashley Longsworth. She is a therapist and specializes in family, couples, and community counseling, and holds a master's degree in marriage and family therapy. Welcome to Taboo Talks, Ashley. How are you today?
Hi, nice to be here with everyone. I really enjoyed this conversation. I'm so glad you guys are so open and brave to have these conversations.
I'm so sorry for you to hear with dirty thing up here.
It's not something new to me. I work with a lot of couples and a lot of teenagers, so I hear a lot in sessions that maybe they can't talk to other people about.
Right. So basically, the topic of sex comes up often, right, in your field
It
of work.
does. It does. Right? Especially with couples. They usually come in with the mass of communication problems. And then after a few sessions, they kind of just throw out that they're not having sex and it's bad, and they feel as though their relationship can't continue because they can't agree on what they want to do in the bedroom.
Right. So
And-
okay. Sorry to cut you off, but when it comes to the relationships and the couples therapy that you work with, do you feel that sex is the number one reason they come in? Because you said they use communication as a guise for what really is sexual incompatibility or dissatisfaction. So where would you rank sex coming in as the problem in relationships?
Okay, I'll say why it's difficult to rank. One, because when let's talk about heterosexual couples for one. When I have
Right.
heterosexual couples, it's usually the males that bring up sex as a problem first, before the women would. The women would talk about sex in terms of intimacy, comfort, security, love, and then men would talk about more physical needs. When I deal with same-sex couples, I do see that sex usually comes out like in the first or second session because then they usually use that as their connection. It depends. It depends on the couple. It does come out regardless in like the first 2 or 3 sessions with all couples that I've seen.
Okay. All right. Well, I feel like all of us here kind of know what we like from what we don't like. We know our sexual preferences, right? We have our sexual identity. But a lot of us struggle. Well, I know I struggle with finding the right type of partner in terms of my chemistry and how that partner, satisfies the things that I like and like, kind of, rubs me the right way, so to speak. How important is sexual chemistry in relationships? Really and truly, because you can't have a relationship without sex, right?
All right, so you have to think about sex in the context of connection and what makes you feel right and safe in the relationship. So for some people, physical sex is very important, meaning that we need to be attracted to each other, we need to want to do the same things, we need to talk about the things that we want to do. And then for other people, there's a value more on comfort connection. It's almost like, are we talking more? Are we discussing when we will have sex? Is it something that we want to do or we don't want to do? So it doesn't always focus on the physical aspect, but also on the emotional aspect of it. It is very important within relationships. You find that people tend to associate a lack of sexual chemistry with a bad relationship. And then they tend to associate a good sexual chemistry with a good relationship. However, it's not that black and white.
I just may
right?
say the toxic ones are where it's at.
Yeah, it's
Ashley.
not that black and white. Right?
Right. So, okay. So, I think a lot of the time we talk about sex, like we said before, as a physical act, but we're not talking about pleasure. And I think those are two very separate things. How often do you see people coming in and saying, I just am not feeling this pleasure. I'm not satisfied. I want to experience this type of pleasure. Do you have like tips for them as to how to achieve this pleasure that they're looking for? Asking for a friend?
Right. Yes. So I see it in different ways, right? Women, I do get a lot of women that express not being satisfied sexually with their partners. One, it can be they're not sure how to ask for it. They don't feel empowered to be able to express themselves or what they want from their partner. They were taught that they shouldn't talk about these things, or their partner also enforces that, so their partner doesn't give them room to discuss what they'd like when they're intimate with each other. So I work a lot with women with discovering, like their sexual identity, learning to be comfortable with who they are. A big thing I feel like is that there's no connection towards centrality. Like there is this gap between society norms and then talking about self-pleasure. It's very uncommon to hear people say, I was working to see what felt pleasurable to me so that when I get into a relationship, I know how to explain and communicate what I like. People don't talk about pleasure in that way, right? It's kind of like, well, I kind of started having sex, then I figured out what I liked, but then I don't know how to say what more I want from this. And so I would encourage people to self-explore in the context that's comfortable for them. During your discussion, I heard you guys talk a lot about some people that have spiritual beliefs and some that don't. You have to explore your sexual identity in the context that matters to you, right?
That's a
So
great point.
even though there might be some people that feel like they should be a little bit more free and liberal. Some people are conservative, and it is not about like shaming them with how conservative they are, but then asking them, how do they feel about their own selves, who are they as a feminine person, as a masculine person, as whatever they want to identify themselves as. How do they know their bodies? How do they explore themselves? How do they feel about their body image, self-image? How do they see themselves emotionally? These are ways that you can be intimate with yourself in the context that's comfortable to you. So discovering your sexual intimacy and pleasure doesn't always have to mean exploring your body, but then also exploring your mind, also exploring your emotions to your own self. How else will you feel comfortable in a relationship to communicate what you need or want if you're not comfortable with your own self?
Ooh. Ashley, I feel like I have to do snaps. Do any of our guests have a comment or a question to us, Ashley? I feel like the topic of sexual identity is a whole episode within itself. But I think you hit the nail on the head. I think a lot of us maybe aren't as comfortable or haven't done that self-exploration. And that doesn't just mean, masturbation. It also means legitimately figuring out what it is that I like, what it is that I don't like, what is important to me and what isn't in a partner. So I don't know if any of you guys have found the right one, and what that chemistry is like. How do you know if you have the right chemistry with a partner? You know what I mean? What would you advise somebody that is in a relationship where they feel that like their sexual needs aren't being met, and more than that their sexual needs are being ignored because the other person is not comfortable with it? What would you say in that situation?
Okay, so if you are in a healthy partnership, you should be able to communicate about what you want and what you need. It should not be something that you feel uncomfortable doing. It should not feel unsafe to say, hey, I like this, or I like that, or I don't like when you do this, or I don't like when you do that. And it's also accepting that everything that you like doesn't mean that your partner will like it. So then it has to be where you are making a choice to compromise in some way with your partner, right? There might be some things that you may have done in your previous relationship, or this person may have done in their previous relationship, and there's this expectation that it may happen in this relationship, but then that's unfair to your partner, right? There has to be communication at all levels, from when you guys started this type of relationship to when you are in it, because your taste might change. You might have liked something in the beginning but don't like it now, or you are open to exploring something now that you weren't before. So it has to be constant communication. If you are not able to communicate with your partner, if your partner gets mad at you for suggesting things, if your partner shuts you down for wanting things that pleasure you, you are not in a safe relationship. You're not in a healthy relationship.
Right. Agreed. Okay. Well, finally, I don't know if anybody wants to interject, but what's one of the most important sexual messages that you would like to leave our viewers with? Something of major concern that you've observed over, the years of you treating couples and people with, sexual, I guess, quote unquote problems. Is that the way to say it?
So one of the things that popped out to me when you guys were talking was about sexual favors, right?
Ooh.
So I also work with a lot of sexual abuse survivors, right? From all ages, from teenagers to adults, young adults, older adults. couples that have one partner that was a sexual abuse survivor and working with that, right? So when I thought about that subject about favors for sex, right? It's that's another topic that's not black and white, right? I think someone mentioned it, I can't remember, but sometimes we use a favor in sexual exchanges to meet a need that maybe we weren't getting served in another relationship. So, for example, if a young lady is receiving monetary value from an older man, she might perceive this as a value system for her. I am so valuable that this person was attracted to me and is willing to give me this money, or also a view of commitment. Like maybe they've never had a level of commitment. And so for this person to say, let's go into like this transactional kind of relationship where I know that if you provide sex for me, I will give you this thing. And it's like a level of commitment. And so it serves a purpose for some people, and they feel like though they have to stay in it because then it's serving something that's great that they're not finding anywhere else. I think the tricky part is knowing the difference between an agreement with someone for a sexual favor and then being coerced into having sex, right? So being pressured to have sex can be so subtle. This can be as simple as someone DMing you multiple times saying, I'm really attracted to you, I really want to be with you. They see you in outings, they come up to you multiple times with the intention that they're trying to say, let's have sex. Right? There's a lot of subtle things that it can be difficult to realize when you slip in the line into an abusive relationship. How do you go from when someone is trying to manipulate your emotions to someone that's saying that, or someone trying to be physically aggressive with you when you don't give them what you want, right? And manipulative behaviors can be things like, if you don't have sex with me, I'll send your naked picture to everybody I know.
Oh, Lord.
If you don't do this thing with me, we're going to break up. If you don't have sex with me, I'm going to find it in someone else. Right? And if you want that connection with that person, especially if we're talking about more of a long-term relationship, it can be so difficult to
say no and to keep within what you feel comfortable.
And so I think one of the biggest things I want to say is that sexual abuse occurs and it happens, and we need to know when to identify a healthy sexual relationship. And a healthy sexual relationship always includes safety and communication, right? This means when you're in a sexual relationship, you should never have an uncomfortable feeling that you can't say no. That if you don't have sex, that something bad will happen. That, right? It's supposed to be somewhere where you can explore yourself, where you can have fun, where you can be intimate with this person, grow a connection with this person. Or if you just want to have fun, you're having fun, but it's an agreement that you're having with this person, right? It's also just making sure that you're safe in all of this. When you're having sex, be safe. Use protection. Be careful of STIs and STDs.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for that, Ashley. I think you summed it right up. I think we have to, one, be free in our expression of our sexual identities and preferences, but also be responsible enough to know when we are not in a safe environment or with the right partners. But thank you so much for your time, Ashley. We appreciate your great words of advice.
Thank you, guys. I really enjoyed being on here.
If you need to talk some more, call me. Actually, maybe I should call you. Clearly, I need to talk to you.
Anytime you want.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for being so candid. I appreciate all four of you coming here and airing out your dirty laundry. Thank you so much. Viewers, we hope you enjoyed the fun. And I hope that from this show, you've taken away two things. One, protection. Remember to practice safe sex, especially if you're with more than one partner. Unwanted pregnancies and STIs can derail you and cause major ripple effects in your life. Two, embrace you. If you don't want to be straight, that's your choice. If you don't want to be a freak, or if you want to be experimental, you do you. You're the master of your body, and you should let it dance and get twisted or bent up or however you want to do it. With that, we're signing off for tonight. And I hope to have you back next Thursday at 9 p.m. on CBTV or on Facebook. Buenas noches.